Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the MJ Hurley Show, presented by TDT Media and Area Insurance. Thank you for tuning in on yet again another week. As always, thank you to Cy Ingersoll, producer in the background, who you're actually going to see on camera today for a little bit of fun later in the show. You'll find out about that maybe about 10 minutes. Depends how long I rant about the Oakland A's later. And as you can see, I switched things around a little bit. I'm messing around with streaming video games again. We'll see how it goes. Streamed a little bit yesterday, barely, just a little bit today. I'm going to make some clips, throw them out on TikTok. We'll see how it does. But I used to do it during COVID and had a little bit of fun, little bit of success doing it. I had like 7 subscribers on Twitch. Like it was nothing crazy, but I really enjoyed doing it because there are a lot of people that I personally knew that would come hang out every night. So we'll see if we can get back there. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do it on the weekend than it is during the work week. So we'll see what happens during the work week with the day job, everything else with TDT Media, and then trying to do that. But I think it'll be just something fun. Like when I do sit down to play video games, why not stream it? Why not, make some fun content out of it? So if you want to go over, I believe I changed my Twitch to just MJ Hurley. So it's just twitch.tv/MJ Hurley. You can go check me out there or just go on Twitter. You can find everything you want on Twitter. But yeah, so what we're going to talk about today, we're going to do talk a little bit about March Madness because I'm recording this just a little bit after the end of the NC State Duke game, which was fantastic. So we're going to talk a little bit about March Madness, preview the Final Four. My bracket is busted, so is everybody else's, and that's why it's okay. Because I think the only Final Four person that really anybody had was UConn. So that's good. Everybody's bracket is busted. Don't have to worry. Then we're going to talk a little bit about MLB opening weekend. I've been paying more attention to the MLB, at least so far. Again, we'll get into my issues with the Oakland A's and their ownership later. But I'm still just trying to pay a little bit more attention. Baseball used to be the main sport that I paid attention to. So to give you guys some context, I played baseball my whole life. Started in T-ball. Then when we got to, I was homeschooled until high school. So I played Park District my whole life, played travel ball in the summer. When I got into high school, played for the high school team. I then proceeded to break my spine when I was 16, which was super fun and interactive. Not a good look. It was not fun. Played club baseball in college. And so baseball is the sport that I will always prefer to watch. I can sit down no matter what type of baseball game it is. I really don't care if it's competitive or not. Obviously, you like a good baseball game, right? Like I love watching baseball playoffs specifically, but I can sit down and watch any baseball game any time of the year. And because I played the game, it's the only sport that I actually played organized sport of. Because I played the sport, I can sit down and I can watch it and I can analyze it. And it's way more fun for me to watch that than it is to watch football. Obviously, there's so much entertainment value in football. That's why it's the king of the United States right now, right? But for me personally, that's why I love watching baseball. I'm not going to lie. I got out of it for a few years, like paying attention to it consistently because of the fact that the Oakland A's are so poorly managed. So I paid more attention. We're going to talk about that later. But just want to give you a little bit of context on why even on like Third Down Thursdays and some TDT Media stuff, you don't see as much baseball. But I'd love to give a shout out to the guys. We're doing so much better this year on producing baseball content. A lot of that because of what Cy is doing. So shout out to Cy in the background. We've been doing a much better job this year on baseball content. So I'm really excited to see what we'll do with that for an entire season. Hopefully we can keep that up. But the first thing I want to talk about is March Madness. And if you're new to the program, we love chaos around here, whether it's Chaos Central on Third Down Thursdays, whether it's just like, I want chaos in the sporting events that I watch. I know I just said I'll watch any baseball game, and that is true. But if it's baseball, give me the benches clearing brawl, right? If it's football, give me overtime. If it's basketball, give me overtime or a game-winning 3. If it's hockey, give me the fights, give me the shootouts. Like that is what makes professional sports so exciting, is that on any given night, on any given day, you can see any team win. And so that's what I especially love about March Madness, is now in the Final Four. We've got 4 teams who could not be more different. First and foremost, you've got Alabama, who is a football school. First and foremost, like you've got Alabama fans who are just realizing they have a basketball program. Legitimately, they're like, "Oh, I thought we just did football around here. Oh, we got basketball? Wait, we're good at something else?" Like there are so many hilarious videos of basketball fan or Alabama fans being like, "Roll Tide, we got basketball," right? And I love it because they're discovering a love for another game, and they're expanding their sports knowledge. It's great. Then we've got Purdue, who has choked so many consistent March Madness seasons, their first Final Four appearance since 1980. Then we've got NC State with my boy DJ, their first appearance since 1983. They took down tonight one of the most historic programs in college basketball history in Duke. It's just amazing to me how the game has changed, how NIL has made it so much easier for a program like NC State, who's an 11 seed in the tournament, who is like third in North Carolina behind Duke and UNC in any type of recruiting. But because they have NIL, because March Madness is chaos and we love it, they can make any type of run. And now DJ and the boys are making their run into the Final Four. The problem is, thankfully, not in their first game in the Final Four, but if they were to go to the championship, they'll run into UConn, who's making their 7th Final Four appearance since 1999. So those other 3 teams in the Final Four who are not named UConn are making their first appearances since at least 1983, if ever. And UConn is making their 7th in the last 25 years. So I still think that this tournament runs through UConn. In the last 2 years of March Madness, UConn has a point differential of plus 276. So if you want to give me any numbers that say that anybody else is going to win this tournament and it's not UConn, I will not believe you until I see it. It's the same way that for years people did not bet against Tom Brady because it just statistically wasn't a good idea. And as much as I may hate the man with a purple passion brighter than 1,000 suns, it was a bad idea to bet against him. Same way you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes now. It's the exact same thing with UConn in this Final Four. I think they are a train, and they're going to ride it all the way home to a championship. So that's my official prediction. We'll see what actually happens. I would and March Madness, the first March Madness I ever remember watching, like a lot of the games, is actually the March Madness where UConn's Kemba Walker went on that run during March Madness, and the historic run during March Madness that ended up getting him a higher selection in that NBA draft. So UConn always has a special place in my heart. I didn't pick them to win this year because I was like, well, they're so favored. Let me pick Houston. And Houston got run through. So we all know how that went. Yeah, I think this tournament runs through UConn. Again, for the chaos part, I would love to see UConn lose. I would love to see like an NC State Alabama championship game. Just give me all the weird stuff when it comes to March Madness, and I am here for it. What I'm not here for, unfortunately, is just the utter lack of professionalism when it comes to the Oakland A's. So the Oakland A's started off their season this weekend, and they won one game, which I'm really proud of the fact that they won one game. They're now on pace to go 1-161. And just flat out, they are the laughing stock of the American League. They're the laughing stock of Major League Baseball. They have a couple nice young pieces. And you want to know what's actually really funny is I sit here and I have a couple things pulled up for the show. I don't do everything off of memory. I'm not that good. And I go to pull up the Oakland A's depth chart on ESPN, and even their depth chart is broken on my computer right now because that's how useless they are when it comes to being a functional Major League Baseball organization. So they won their first game today, and they are so dysfunctional. They didn't have a fan fest. The Oakland A's fans had to put on a fan fest at the beginning of the season because the organization refused to. They on Twitter have turned off all of the comments under any post that they make on their Twitter account. Only people who they mention can reply to their tweets. And there are just so many problems. Like, even take, for example, that there are, I believe, at least 6 NFL quarterbacks in the year 2024 who will make more money than the Oakland A's will pay their entire payroll. The Oakland A's payroll is somewhere in the realm of 7.5 times less the LA Dodgers. That's just ridiculous. Like, I understand that the LA Dodgers are a bigger market. I understand that they have more money. I understand that guys like Shohei Ohtani are willing to go to their team and take deferred money because they're playing for the Dodgers, right? But the Oakland A's just 10 years ago would play a playoff series at home and would sell out their entire normal stadium and have to open up the upper deck in center field where they normally have their banners that just say Oakland, Oakland A's, Athletics. Sai, if you can pull up the picture of their stadium that I have, top where it just says Athletics, they would open that up during the playoffs and they would be able to sell almost all of that out during the playoffs. But now, this is on opening night. The Oakland A's announced attendance was 13,000. But the way that baseball does it is the announced attendance is how many tickets were bought, not how many people actually entered the stadium. And if you look at this picture and tell me that that is 13,000 people, then, ladies and gentlemen, you need to go back to freshman math class because that is not 13,000 people. And you want to know why? All of those people bought tickets, they went and they tailgated, and they sat outside the stadium for this game because the Oakland A's fans are boycotting basically the entire season. Their attendance today was 3,000 people. I'm pretty sure, I'm very sure that there were more people at my church service today for Easter than there were at Odotco Coliseum in Oakland for their baseball game today against the Cleveland Guardians. And my church is bopping. But the Oakland A's are a professional sports franchise, and I sure hope they could draw more than 3,000 people, but they have been so horrible to their fans, not just by the way they treat the fans and the amenities and the fan fest and all of those things, but the product they put on the field is horrible, just flat out. They got embarrassed by the Cleveland Guardians today, and Cy can correct me in a minute when he comes on for our new segment, but the Cleveland Guardians are not exactly like the pinnacle of baseball success right now. They've had their years, 2016 World Series against the Cubs. They've had their shining moments, but they're not exactly the cream of the crop right now. And Oakland just got embarrassed in the Coliseum by the Cleveland Guardians for the last 4 days. And even their win today, it was a good win on paper. Paul Blackburn, I believe, 7 shutout innings, if I have that correctly. I know he at least had 7 innings. I don't know if he gave up any runs. Again, I don't even want to pay attention to the Oakland A's right now because of how bad a product they're putting on the field. And so here's what I'll say. This will be hopefully the last time that I rant about their ownership, about John Fisher, about all of that. We will talk A's as this year goes along. I want to learn more about their young prospects. I want to learn about hopefully the future of this franchise if we do ever get to a point where we pay our players. And I want to try and stay along with those guys. But just like, and I know fans listening understand, it hurts when you get attached to the Matt Chapmans and the Matt Olsons, and back in the day, Yoenis Cespedes and Marcus Simeon and all of the guys who they had who were extremely talented. And a lot of those guys grew up in the franchise and then get shipped away when they get to arbitration and the A's don't want to pay them. So I hope that can change in the future. I hope John Fisher gets his act together and sells the team, or at least if they do move to Las Vegas, then they actually get some money flowing around there and actually start paying their players. But with that being said, when you do just have no money flowing into the household and you need some help, what you need first and foremost is some good home insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And when you call Jeff Ortemny at 704-464-4544, make sure to let him know that the MJ Hurley Show and TDT Media sent you, and he will give you a nice little deal on that good insurance. And with that being said, we are going to have a new segment around these parts, something I'm very excited for, kind of a continuation of a fan favorite that we've been doing on Third Down Thursdays. We're going to bring Cy in for some trivia. And Cy, if you could hop on in here and explain to the people and your nice mood lighting that you have going on there.
Man, I knew I should turn the other light on, but we got mood lighting today. So
it's okay. I'm excited. What is this trivia going to look like? What's the format and what is our topic today?
So we got week 1 of the MJ Hurley Trivia Show. We'll call it that. So every week I'll come on with a new topic. It'll be a top 10 topic of some sort involving sports. And MJ will have as many guesses as he needs to guess the top 10 of whatever category we're doing. However, if he gets 3 strikes, he's out. So we're going to keep a record. We're going to keep a tally. It's either he wins and gets all 10 or he loses and he doesn't get all 10. So we'll keep a record. It's week 1. He's 0-0.
Okay.
And the first category I have for you is the top 10 NBA points per game leaders from this year.
Ooh. Okay. I can get close. I don't know if I'm going to get all of them.
I figured you could get close.
Well, I can get with 3 strikes. I can get.
You
close.
Got some leeway.
And for full transparency, hands are right here.
Yep.
We got nothing pulled up. Side just told me about this. We're a respectful program around here. Okay.
No prep, no nothing.
So top 10 points per game leaders. And is this like off of ESPN? Like what they would list?
This is off of NBA.com.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic is number 10.
Yikes. Okay, let's get a little bit more comfortable. Give me SGA.
SGA is number 3.
Give me Luka.
Luka's number 1.
Number 3. Give me. Ooh, that feels dangerous. Give me Giannis.
Giannis is number 2. You have the top 3 and number 10.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 10. Let's just think top guys on teams. Give me. I feel like Trae Young is on this list.
I'm looking. Trae Young is not here.
Really?
That is strike.
It's a couple years ago. He was averaging 30. Okay.
That is strike number 1.
Okay. Let me lock it. I don't think Curry is on this list. I don't think because if Jokic is 10, then that's my bar. Yep. I don't think LeBron is scoring more than Jokic right now. I don't think AD is scoring more than Jokic right now. Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is number 6.
Okay.
You have 1, 2, 3, 6, and 10.
1, 2, 3, 6, and 10. All right. And
you have 1 strike.
Right. Give me Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson is number 4.
There we go.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 10. So you're missing 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9.
Can I get a Jimmy Butler?
Strike 2. Jimmy Butler's not on here. You are missing number 9, number 8, number 7, and number 5. You did actually have number 4. I was wrong.
Okay.
You have one strike. So if you mess up this next one, you're done.
Okay. Give me Anthony Edwards.
Strike number 3.
What?
You're out, sir. Anthony Edwards was number 11. All right.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I'll go
Oh.
up from 10. I'll go from 10 to 1. So
Okay.
Nikola Jokic was number 10, averaging 26.1. De'Aaron Fox was 9, averaging 26.5. Stephen Curry was 8, averaging 26.6. Devin Booker was 7, averaging 27.
I thought about
Jason
Book.
Tatum was Jason Tatum was 6, averaging 27.3.
And KD is
And
5, isn't he?
Yep, KD's 5, averaging 27.6, and you got the top 4.
See, so I really didn't think Curry
Because
was that high.
as soon as you said you don't think Curry's on here, I'm like, yeah, he's not getting this.
Yeah, because I would have, if I got down to it, I probably would have guessed it. And I thought about KD. I definitely wouldn't have put Book. If I was gonna guess the second option, I would have guessed Dame before I guessed Book.
And Dame is 16. Dame was 16. Anthony Davis was 15. Kyrie 14. LeBron 13, and Tyrese Maxey is actually 12. And then Ant.
Yeah, because he's been playing a lot without Joel Embiid. Where was Jimmy? No, Jimmy was on the list. Okay.
Jimmy was nowhere.
Oh, he wasn't. Oh no, he wasn't.
No, Jimmy was not on the list. That was your second strike.
Really?
No, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm off NBA.com. Went through the top 10.
That's
Jimmy
okay.
Butler.
And that's part of why we're doing this. We're gonna expand our knowledge together.
Jimmy Butler was 34.
Dang.
Alfred Sanguine is outscoring Jimmy Butler right now.
Dang, when you're getting outscored by Alfred Sanguine, that's tough.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Now, I will say I was impressed with my Jalen Brunson poll. That was nice.
Brunson at 4 was definitely surprising.
But De'Aaron Fox is the most, like, the other ones make sense. The other ones make perfect. De'Aaron Fox is the one that's surprising to me. But okay. That's why we're doing this. We're gonna expand our knowledge. We're gonna learn.
Next week
will be every week.
Next week will be a different sport. It won't be the same sports back-to-back weeks. I can confirm that.
Yes,
we're gonna go recent. We're gonna test his recent knowledge at first, and when we need to go test his all-time knowledge, we'll test his all-time knowledge. But if you don't know the now, how can I expect you to know the later?
Honestly, I could probably pull at least the same amount of all-time points per game scores, if not better.
Yeah, I thought about
sad.
it. I was like, nah, I want to go
because
I was like, nah, I gotta go current.
I got a bunch of names off the top of my head because you're just talking like who has the most points ever.
Yeah, who's a GOAT basically?
Yeah, like I can pull a lot of those out, but yeah, that's okay. We'll improve. We'll get better. Athletes adjust. We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week for some more trivia. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right. Last thing I would like to talk about today is something that's near and dear to my heart. I've got a quick rant, and then we've got there's not much on this topic. So the UFL, the United Football League, which is the merging of the USFL and the XFL, started their new debut season this weekend. Okay, so my hometown Arlington Renegades were playing against the DC Defenders. St. Louis lost a heartbreaker on a 64-yard field goal from a kicker who hadn't made a kick since high school, and just a lot of chaotic stuff. So first and foremost, what I would like to say is I am slightly disappointed because we have worked with both the USFL and the XFL in the past, and we were denied any type of credentials by the new United Football League. Both for myself here in Arlington and for Joey, who has been doing some incredible work for us covering the St. Louis Battlehawks. And so, I understand that TDT Media on paper is not The Athletic. They are not ESPN. They are not Sports Illustrated, right? But here's the thing. I myself have been covering the XFL since they came back in 2020. I have interviewed countless XFL players. Joey has interviewed multiple XFL players, current and former. And what we have been trying to do is the same thing that the United Football League wants to do, which is give the 54th man, which is what The Rock calls it, give the 54th man a shot. Give them more publicity. Give them more game tape. Give them more in-house experience. Give them more media experience. All of that. We are not trying to use the United Football League for clout. We are not trying to use the United Football League to gain anything, really. Any following we gain from the UFL, we want that to be directed to the players. And so in talking with, the powers that be with the UFL, when we are denied, I asked why. And basically we were told that you don't have the numbers. Okay. So 12.5 million views in the first quarter of 2024 for a media platform that, other than our good friends at Erie Insurance, has no official sponsor. I would like you to show me another platform of our current position that is pulling those type of numbers, because it does not happen. And again, we are not trying to get out here and clout chase off of the UFL. No disrespect to the UFL, but if I'm going to clout chase, I'm not using a spring football league. That's not what I'm going to try to do it with, right? So just on my end, it's very disappointing because that's where I started. All of this is from an XFL podcast in 2020. So I was very excited when both of the leagues that I covered last year, because we did some USFL, we did some XFL. I was very excited when both the leagues I covered last year merged. I was like, perfect. We'll just merge all of our coverage. And then we get rejected. So it's just interesting to me when the NFL decides to work with us, when the PGA Tour, Minor League Baseball, all of these other organizations recognize what we are doing, albeit at a small level currently. It's just disappointing to me. Am I still going to watch the XFL? Yes. Or the UFL. Am I still going to watch the UFL? Yes. Is Joey still going to cover the St. Louis Battlehawks? Yes. You're still going to get great coverage from him. I'm not going to do any personal coverage on the UFL, partially because I don't have the time, but partially also because I won't be in the building, and I cannot do the type of coverage I want to do on a league like that without actually being in the building and talking to the players and things like that. So, if you were looking for UFL coverage from me in 2024, I do apologize. I'm going to send you to Joey Van Zimmerman. He's doing a great job for us at TDT Media, legitimately incredible work. Also want to give a shout out to Trey Watson Sr., one of my good friends who talked to Joey for a feature profile, the brother of Christian Watson, wide receiver for the Packers. Trey played for the St. Louis Battlehawks last year, and was kind enough to sit down with Joey and do a feature before the season, talking about the life of a UFL, XFL player, what spring football means and all of that. So if you want to know why I have an affection for this type of league and why it hurts to not be able to cover the league, go read that feature, because Joey and Trey do a great job of covering it. Yeah, that's about all I got on the UFL. I like that we have more football, and I'm going to watch it as a fan. But in terms of media coverage, especially from TDT Media, we're going to leave that up to Joey. So with that being said, that's about all we have today on the MJ Hurley Show. Again, to everybody who's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday for another episode, more from me and more trivia with Cy somewhere in the middle. Hopefully we'll improve on our 0-1 record, but we'll see. Just want to learn some more things and have some fun in the process. So again, thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to Erie Insurance for sponsoring the MJ Hurley Show and TDT Media. We'll be back next week. See you guys later.